All right, y'all. As y'all know, if you just finished watching my last stream, Apple knocked me off. And this is one of the reasons why I talk about this, that um, Apple do not like us to live stream the events. And I try my best not to do it. But unfortunately, Apple doesn't play too fair. Okay, uh, Apple doesn't play fair. So this is what we have to go through. So if you guys was watching the last stream, um, y'all guys know, yeah, Apple nuked my stream, y'all. Listen, I talk about this. I talked about this, right? And I didn't even show that much of the stream. Like I really didn't show that much of the stream. And Apple nuked my stream. Apple definitely nuked my stream. So this is one of the reasons why us YouTube content creators can't do these type of things. We can't. Like we can't. It's because Apple doesn't play fair. You know. So only thing I could do is just give you guys commentary, man. Just give you guys commentary. Like you can't show these events. This is the second stream, right? So I was showing bits and pieces with no sound, like hardly no sound, and Apple nuked my stream. Bro, hey man, what the how do content creators even can do reaction videos and stuff like that when Apple and companies like Apple, Samsung does the same thing, by the way. They nuke you. They nuke you, right? So my apologies, guys. That my last live stream was nuked. I still have it playing in the background, but I can't show you guys. I can still kind of do some type of reaction. And right now they're showing off the iPhone 16, and since they're showing off the iPhone 16, you could, you know, uh, I don't. It looked different, right? Well, I ain't say different, but they just took the cameras instead of sideways, and they got the cameras going down. They talk about the iPhone 16. Um, yeah. Hey, listen, man. I knew it's a possibility. It's a possibility to that my live stream was going to get hit, but that's why I was trying to use precaution. I was trying to be very cautious as not to play the sound and try to do split screen and try not to show it at all. But unfortunately, Apple don't want YouTubers to show their events at all. Nothing, nothing. It's crazy. Uh, let's see. Somebody said that this checking in is Apple products still for teenage girls or old people? I mean, listen, man, iPhones are good, man. I don't have no issues with them. I mean, I'm an Android fan personally. There's some things on iPhones that that I use, right? Listen, my Blackmagic cameras, right? I use my iPhone or my iPad to control my Blackmagic cameras. There's no apps on Android, so there's some things on Apple, on iPhones that I can't get on Android. You know what I'm saying? So anytime I'm using my camera system, anytime I use my teleprompter, anytime I type up my scripts, I use it all on Apple product because it's just better. Now, my smartphones of choice will probably be Android, but when I need to get productive work done, it's all on Apple. I got the Apple Minis. I have Apple Studios. I have Apple iPads. I have a lot of iPhones. And but so when I want to get work done on a work aspect, nothing could beat the productivity of iPhones and iPads and Macs. But for customization on smartphones, I would use Android. I I do have Windows PCs. I don't prefer them, but I do use Windows PCs. Matter of fact, I have one of my monitors connected to a Windows PC. So absolutely. All right, the A18 is going in a new iPhone. Let me see. They're using a lot of power in this iPhone. And the reason why is because of AI, right? They're all talking about AI. And whoa, they went from the A16 Bionic to the A18 Bionic, by the way. All right, on the iPhone 16, not the Pros, not the Pros, but yeah, yeah, still look like they still gonna go with 60 hertz. Um, and now they about to talk about Apple Intelligence for the next hour or so. So yeah, they went from the A16 to the A18 on the iPhones. So it took a leap up. So if you're just joining me here, right? This is my second live stream. My first live stream has got pulled from Apple. You know, um, I mean, I try my best not to show too much of the event because I know how Apple roll. And but even though I was showing bits and pieces of it, it wasn't good enough for Apple. And they yanked my stream down. You know, um, that's just unfortunate, man. Because for us content creators, man, we try to give commentary to our viewers about all these events and stuff like that. But Apple just doesn't play those type of games, man. It's just unfortunate. I'm sorry, y'all, that I'm not able to show y'all guys anything dealing with the event. You will have some YouTube channels that will show the event. They have special permissions from Apple to show that event. I don't have that type of permission. Apple wouldn't probably never give me that type of permissions to rebroadcast their live streams. They definitely hit me with a copyright strike. Now, I, I this is my first copyright strike in about 2 years. So one copyright strike won't hurt me. Um, but you know, yeah, I got hit with a copyright strike. Just so y'all know, right? This showing bits and pieces of the live stream. I got hit with a copyright strike, and my live stream got pulled down. Just so you know. But yeah, I mean, they right now they're talking about Apple, right? And they're talking about AI. Like everything is all about AI with them. Um, and they're talking about 100% renewable energy and stuff like that. So if you're watching the keynote address as of me right now, you should be. They're talking about the iPhone, right? Right. They're not talking about the Pro or the Pro Max. They're talking about the regular iPhones, and they haven't mentioned anything about anything past 60 hertz and stuff like that. So they're just going through some features and functionality of it and stuff like that. But they're making it powerful, but I don't know what they're gonna do with the iPhone 16 Pros and Pro Maxes. Just so you know. Yes. Yeah. Um. Hey, shout out to everybody that's DMing me. Hey, man, listen. My YouTube channel is not. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that's DMing me, man. They listen. It's all good, people. I got hit with a copyright strike, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, I think I could deal with one copyright strike a year. In the you'll lose your YouTube channel if you got three copyright strikes. If you got three copyright strikes, you'll lose your YouTube channel. But one copyright strike in you know, it is what it is, man. Yes, I yeah, it sucked, man. It does. You really can't do too much with everything, man. When you're looking at Apple products and stuff like that. Right now, they just basically all they're doing is they're just talking about the features and functionalities of the regular iPhone 16. They're not talking about the pros yet. Right now they're only talking about the regular 16. So you know, hopefully y'all make sure that tomorrow night you guys is getting ready for a chemistry stream, and then Wednesday we gonna be right back here. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it Wednesday. You know, on the live stream. So it said Kadizu. Let me see. Let me get it right here. Kadizu say I'm only interested in the SE. Hey, listen, man. I don't think they gonna come out with an SE, man. I don't think they're gonna come out with an SE. I think they're just gonna do the 16s and the 16 Pros and Pro Maxes. I don't think they're gonna do a SE. Well, I haven't heard any rumor that they was going to do a 16 Pro Max. I mean, a 16 SE. I don't know. It's still running though. You know. Um, yeah. 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 So I mean, it is what it is. I believe that the Apple iPhone, Apple iPhones are, you know, uh, yeah. I so so Apple. All right. So listen. I think I heard the rumor that it was bringing out the SE. That's supposed to be based off of the 14. I can live with that as long as it got USB Type C. I don't know. They talking about it. We got to see. We got to see. We got to see. Apple new product is nothing new to see in my opinion. Same phone, same watch, same earbuds, same headphones, new colors and price. The best comment right here. The best comment. The best comment right there. That it is what it is. That's the best comment. Same this, same this, same that, same that. Yeah, it's the same, man. Like it's the same. You know, it's really nothing that Apple could bring to the table that will wow you, right? Really nothing here that Apple is doing. I mean, think about it. They took the camera away. The cameras was that way. Now they did it this way. and all they're talking about is AI, AI. Oh my god, fucking AI shit, man. This yeah, the party is over, right? It's a party is over. I mean, listen, people is going to buy these phones, and it is what it is. Like, I think that the Apple fan base is looking to buy this product, right? I think. God damn it, it's nothing here, man. Let me turn this down in my. I have all this just freaking loud in my ear. Um, Hey, let me know when it folds. The price of the earbuds and the headphones decreased. Okay, that's cool. Uh, so I'm so into Apple Power. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna lie to you. To be honest with you guys, that I use an Android phone of choice. I just want people to know I use an Android phone of choice. But everything else is Apple. iPads, MacBooks, Apple Studios, Mac Minis. Everything else is Apple, right? It's because if I want, when I want to get work done, doing my voiceovers and doing my videos and stuff like that, it's all done on Apple product. So I like Apple product to get work done. Like if I want to get serious work done, I go strictly Macs. The phones, the only reason why I'm carrying an iPhone right now, the only reason why I'm carrying an iPhone right now is because in my studio I'm using Blackmagic cameras. And Blackmagic cameras sync. It has an app that's only on Apple that works with my Blackmagic cameras. And so I use the app, and when I was out filming, like when I'm out filming, I'm a one man band. So when I was out filming with my Blackmagic camera, I was able to use my iPhone to sync, and I was able to use my iPhone to do some focusing and do some controlling with my aperture and changing some features and functionality of my camera. So that's one of the reasons why I use an iPhone for that. Now, as far as my teleprompters, and listen, I might switch to the Elgato teleprompter because I'm loving the Elgato what they're doing right now with for their teleprompters. But I'm using an iPad that's in my teleprompter, and I use the iPad for my teleprompter. So, but I'm definitely looking at the Elgato teleprompter because they just came out with some updates and stuff like that, so I don't have to use an iPad for a teleprompter. So, for my teleprompter, I might go with the Elgato, and I'm definitely looking into that. But as far as getting work done, as far as everything like work, and controlling my cameras and live streaming, like this live stream right here is done on a Mac, right? And but I do have Windows PCs. I don't prefer them, but I do have Windows PC. Matter of fact, I'm doing a review on the Windows PC coming up soon. But as far as getting major work done, I use it all on Apple. Just so you know. Listen, I'm not trying to bash or trash Apple, but like people like what they like. Spend your funds on whatever you like. It's your money. Be honest with you. I don't see any reason to upgrade Apple at this time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you why. Uno nice. I'm running M1 Max, right? I'm running M1 Max. They're on M4 right now. I just I still don't see no reason for me to upgrade. Like I'm running the M1 Max Studio, and it's a beast of a computer. I don't see me upgrading my Mac Studio no time soon. Like And I feel that with the same thing with us with these phones. If you got an iPhone 13 Pro Max, I just, what are you upgrading to? Like if you got an iPhone 12, iPhone 13, I just feel that what are you upgraded to? Because look, I got iPhone 15s, right? And I mean I actually like I mean I go back to my iPhone 13 Pro Max and iPhone 15 Pro Max. I mean I listen, man, it is no fundamental difference between iPhones 13, 14s, and 15s. Now, a lot of people might say, well, the camera. Listen, if you cannot take a photo, if you cannot take a video with any phone right now, that's your problem. That ain't the phone problem. You using phones to handicap you. A lot of people always thinking that the phone is going to give you this great image. The phone is a tool. It's up to the individual on how to get a better shot and how to get videos. I keep talking about this. I don't know why people buy phones for cameras. I get blown away about why people buy phones for cameras. If you can't listen, go back and look at my Galaxy Note 9 videos. Go back and look at my LG V60 videos. Go back and look at the Realme GT videos. Fucking cameras are awesome. The depth of field, the dynamic range, the quality of the cameras. We talking about freaking 4, 5, 6 year old phones that gives you image quality that's beyond imagination. Because I know how to shoot with a camera. If listen, usually people get into this mindset that a phone camera, you spending 13, 14, $1,500 on a phone because of the cameras. That tells me that phones handicap people. That tells me that you don't know how to use a camera. That tells me you don't know how to use a phone. That tells me you don't know because if you can't take an iPhone 13 Pro Max to get a good photo and a good video, that's your fault. iPhone 16 ain't gonna make you no better photographer or better videographer. I mean, just being honest with you. An iPhone 16 or iPhone 15 is not gonna make you a better photographer or better videographer. It's not. It's not. And a lot of people that keep upgrading because the cameras, that to me is a you problem, not an Apple problem or not a Samsung problem. That's a you problem. And I would say that if you got the cash and you got the means to upgrade it, that's on you. Listen, the same thing I talk about with performance, right? It kills me. It kills me when we talk about performance, right? Performance again. Phones been fast since the 865 processors. If you can't play a game, if you can't open up an app, if you can't go on your social media with any phone right now, that is your fault. That ain't the phone fault. I don't understand what you're looking for upgrading to a high-end performing device when you're not a power user. And a lot of people say, well, I am a power user. I ask the question when people say they're a power user. The first thing I ask is, do you do video editing on your phone? 99% would say no. I asked the question, do you doing any high end stuff like desktop mode or something like that on your smartphone? 99% of most people say no. If you got a Galaxy phone, do you use your pen in a high capacity like drawing? Do you have any drawing apps? Do you doing photoshopping? Are you doing photo editing? Are you doing any kind of AutoCAD or anything on your smartphone? 99% of most people say no. So to me, that's a power user. Playing games is not considered a power user. Opening up freaking social media apps is not a power user. Watching movies is not a power user. To me, that's just an average function that you use on a smartphone. So it's a fundamental difference between a true power user and a person that just open up apps and call themselves a power user. because that you are not a power user opening up Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Power users use high-end functionality like video editing, photo editing, those type of high-end programs and software to tax their CPU and GPUs to the max. Those are power users. Power users is not watching Netflix on the phone. Power users is not going on TikTok and scrolling up and down. That's not a power user. And I think a lot of people always consider themselves as a power user and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you, I am not a power user on a smartphone because I use real computers and real cameras. I am not a power user, even though I use desktop mode, even though I might use some video editing software, maybe I might do a little photo editing for my thumbnails. I am still not considered a power user because if I wanted to get work done, I pull out my iPad Pros or I'm going to a MacBook or I'm going to my Mac Studio. That to me is something if I want to get work done. Now, can you get work done on a smartphone using Samsung Dex? Absolutely. Can you get work done using a pen and clicking a pen to use the Bluetooth software and everything? Absolutely. But just understand that power users do those things on a daily basis. Just because if you use it maybe once a week or maybe once a month, I still don't consider that being a power user. So when we look at all the power that they put in a smartphone, I always talk about that most users don't use only use a small percentage of the power that's available to you of that device. So upgrading every year because you believe that you're going to get the best cameras, the best software, the best performance, that means that you don't understand how to use your old device. That means that what are you looking for in a phone that make you keep spending almost $2,000 every year? Because it's not just the phone you buying. It's the accessories you have to buy. You buy the phone, you have to buy a case, you buy multiple cases, you got to buy a screen protector, you got to buy protection. That means that you got to get Apple Care. You have to get I mean it's so much after the phone. You got to get a fast charger. You got some people get wireless chargers. You have to buy cords and cables. It's a lot of things after the phone you have to buy in order to get a good experience of that phone. So when we talk about, power users and stuff like that, and buying new phones every year because of performance and all that stuff like that, listen, man, I use obviously I talk about this. I use older devices. I use a lot of older devices, right? From LG phones all the way to the older Galaxy phones, Galaxy Note 9s, stuff like I use those phones, man. Those look, the Realme GT is one of my favorites. Those phones work. Those phones is listen to tech enthusiasts. They call them old. I call them I call them fine wine because the updates and those devices have gotten the updates that those devices have gotten made them so prime. Update after update has smoothed out the operating system, have got it, very, very good for that device, and it works out very well. Most of your newer devices come out, they got bugs, they got issues, they got problems, and stuff like that. I could tell you over and over and over, your older devices will always be your smoother devices versus your newer devices. Every time a new device come out, you have problems. You got bug fixes. They have glitches. The screens be flickering. The buttons don't work. Every time, every freaking year, every time a new phone come out, you have to wait for software updates to fix some kind of issue. You got to wait for software updates to fix this. You got to wait for software updates to fix this. Every time a new device come out. But yet, your older devices is still rocking, baby. They smooth, they fluid, they received all the updates. That means that there's no issues with those older devices. So what people do is they have it in their mind, I'm gonna buy this new device, but I got to wait for updates to make it work better. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Let me go to you guys' comments. Go buy an extra camera. Camera phones are good, but not like a real camera. Wake up, folks. Don't expect great photos. Good, yes. Great, no. It's a phone. Listen, let me see, man. This is $799 for the iPhone 16, $899 for the iPhone 16 Plus. All right. They still haven't talked about the Pro yet, so they're about to talk about Pro in a minute. Listen, I'm gonna say this, right? Uno Dice. This is the a great comment, right? I'm gonna tell you why this is a great comment. By the way, it's because some people believe, and we are getting semi close. We are getting semi close to smartphones that's trying to mimic an image of a real camera. But you have to understand, and a lot of people don't understand, real cameras do things a lot, right? You have log, you have raw, and stuff like that. Some, yes, the smartphones you can't shoot in raw, in the iPhone you can shoot in this log format or whatever. But when you put those images, you just say if I took, the Canon M50, right? I'm gonna just pick a Canon M50. You could buy a Canon M50 for about $600. This is a real professional mirrorless camera. Compared to an iPhone that could cost you, iPhone Pro Max could cost you about $1,100. If you take two raw footage of both of those devices and put it in, Lightroom, Photoshop, you can push and pull the colors more on a professional camera than a smartphone camera. The sensor size is just not big enough to capture that kind of light. So when you talk about a professional camera versus a smartphone, you know, a lot of them try to close the gap, but you got to remember a lot of the cameras using so much processing power and software just to get the image. But at the end of the day, man, I think I would always tell anybody to get a real professional camera if you at the point where you want to take photos and video, and that just that on that, man. And you know, I I would always say get. So they're saying that the iPhone 16 Pro Max got a stunning new design. We knew that the iPhone is going to get a larger display from 6.3 to 6.9. So it's going up, one, a little more. That's it. I think we're going from 6.7 to 6.7 to 6.9. But they talk about 120 hertz. Obviously, the regular ones are still at 60 hertz. That's why, I mean, look, still at $800, it's still too expensive for a 60 hertz display. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 6.9 is pretty large. And they're going all titanium on the pros. This thing gonna be expensive. Yeah, they're going all titanium. I mean, it look pretty. I mean, it's the same design though. A lot, they say all new design. This is the same design. This is the same design. It's nothing new here. Now the camera rays look huge on the back. So the camera rays, it's listen the camera rays on the iPhone 16 Pro Max looks really big. So if they call that a new design, I don't know if I like it, but the cameras on the back is huge. Yeah, obviously it's got to have the iPhone 16 Pros got Pro Max. It look like it has a huger battery, better cameras, better cameras. You know, they talk about AI. Everything's about AI, man. It's all about AI. Yeah, I would tell you. But let's see. But Apple does the smoothest 60 hertz you ever experienced. Hey man, let me tell you. Hey, I mean, we hear this all the time. Like, um, I would tell you, I would tell you. Listen, let me turn this down because this is. Let me turn this down because I got this. I got the keynote address in my ear. But listen, let me tell you this, man. And I'm be honest with you on this one, right? I'm definitely gonna be honest with you. The smoothness of the operating system, the enhancements of the operating system, makes things a lot smoother, even on a 60 hertz display, right? Even on a 120 hertz display. You will have devices like these mid-tier Samsung devices that has the little lower end, very lower end processors that's trying to push 120 hertz. And what do you see on those devices? Glitchiness. When you're scrolling up and down, it's glitching, right? So you don't get that good experience, even though on paper it has 120 hertz. And then when you go into an iPhone, you're scrolling up and down, and you get that smoothness, even though it's on 160, only a 60 hertz display. And the reason why is because the optimization of the operating system make it it make it feels like a much smoother, capable, display. But 60 hertz is 60 hertz, right? But the the optimization of the operating system makes a world of a difference, right? Samsung throwing these underpowered processors in the A devices, right? The old what the 014s or whatever, and they putting 120 hertz on these phones, and the user experience is horrible because when you scrolling, even with 120 hertz, it's so jittery. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's why you get people that says that 60 hertz on the iPhone is buttery smooth. It's because people have experienced cheaper, underpowered devices from like Samsung and all these other companies that's putting 120 hertz displays on their devices with underpowered processors, and it's giving you the worst experience on the planet because when you scroll it, it's jittering. It's jittering up and down. So I would say that Apple does have the advantage when it comes down to the smoothness and capability of their devices. $800 though, I don't listen. I don't know about that because when Google came out with their Pixel A's at 90 hertz at what 599 or whatever, which you could probably get it for cheap. Uh, those are a lot smooth experience when it comes down to scrolling and open up apps and stuff like that, and they got 90 hertz displays. But when you're looking at the Apple 60 hertz displays, I tell you that people will always say that the 60 hertz displays on the Apple devices is buttery smooth, and it's because of the optimization of the operating system itself. Again, you could take an Apple iPhone with a 60 hertz display and get a Samsung device with a 120 hertz display, those A devices, right, with those underpowered processors, and put them side by side, 120 hertz versus 60 hertz Apple, and Apple would beat it every time. And yes, it's 120 hertz, so you would think that you would get a better, smooth experience, but it does pull a lot of processing power to try to give you a very good experience. And unfortunately, they have a lot of devices out there that's rocking, the older MediaTeks or maybe not going into the dimensity, higher dimensity processors, like the 66,000 series or the 8200 series processors. Listen, those are flagship processors. But when you get into the G99s or those type of processors, and they putting 120 hertz. So I gotta listen. I have a bunch of G99 processor devices that has 120 hertz. They are okay, but they're not as smooth as a you know optimized 120 hertz display from a company. All right, just so you know, it's definitely a total difference there when it comes down to smoothness and features and functionality. The iPhone 16 looked like the iPhone 10 Pro Max. Yeah, it's same design. They call it new design, but it's the same design. The experience get worse over time with these mid-range, low-end chipsets with 120 hertz. I agree. So what happened is, as you use your phone, as you use your phone, and you don't, and some of this is on the user, by the way. I preach this a lot. I preach this a lot. Sometimes people use their devices and don't do preventive maintenance. Some people haven't rebooted their phones in years. Some people haven't done a factory reset on their smartphone in years. So what happened over time, as you getting close to the end of using uh, your storage, right? You start to see find your device start to get slower and laggy. I mean, all that cache that's inside that device is building up, and it's making the device go slower. It's making the device feel buggier, even with the 120 hertz. A lot of people say, "How you fix that?" Because when I first bought it, it was running great, but over 6 to 9 months to a year, it runs like crap. And I always ask the question, when the last time you did something like reboot the device? And a lot of people, I haven't rebooted my phone in a year. I I also ask the question of when the last time you went inside the settings and go into device maintenance and just click on one button, because most devices have device maintenance software that's in the device itself, and if you press it, it will optimize your device. It will clear the cache. It will, get rid of some unusable data and stuff like that. Would make your device run faster and better. A lot of people don't know about that type of stuff. Look, we make videos about that stuff. And what the problem is our YouTube channels are so small, people can't find us. So even though we make videos about stuff like that, people can't find us. So that, once they look at the bigger YouTube content creators and the bigger YouTube content creators make these statements like your phone should be, if it gets slow and sluggish, it's time to get rid of it. I cringe when I hear those words, because the smartphone will work at optimal performance just like you bought it. All you have to do is do preventive maintenance, maintenance on the device, reboot it from time to time, and maybe just do a factory reset on that device. Clear out everything, just start over again. And you will find yourself having a almost brand new phone that works faster, better, and more capable than giving your phone up and going and buy a new phone. And I hear this from a lot of content creators say that, oh, the phone is 2 years old, it's starting to slow down, getting sluggish, it's time for you to give it up. And a factory reset will fix 99.9% of most problems. Now, people that root and boot their devices, that's something totally different. You do have people that root, change ROMs, don't know what they're doing, trying to download unauthorized APKs on their devices, clicking on links, and they giving authorization for people to, read their data and stuff like that. Listen, that's on the user. It's not the phone. I'm gonna tell you what I do. I started blaming the user a lot because 99% of most problems with smartphones is the user's fault. And listen, I do understand that phones, do have issues. But when I hear these complaints from people about their issues with smartphones, 99% of most issues that most people have with their smartphones is user error. And I always kind of blame it on the user because if you go back to the cameras, if you can't get a good photo, if you can't get a good video, if your phone was fast when you first bought it and it's slow now and you don't know what to do, then that's one of the reasons why we make these videos. This is user error. This ain't no company, because a lot of people look at, okay, think about this. If you go back and you look at some of these keynotes, go back and look at some of these YouTube videos, go back, you look at phones with the 865 processor, 888 processor, 8 Gen 1, and you go back to the 820, man, I ain't gonna go back to 821s, but those 865 to 888 processors, right? What did you hear from most of those content creators? This is a beast of a phone. It's so fast. It's so fluid. These are the things that people say in their videos for years and years and years. How could the phone was blazing fast 2 years ago and today it's slow as a sludge? It's user error, right? And I always talk about this type of stuff, man. When people talk about their phone, now the only thing that you will have issues with is batteries, right? Obviously, batteries don't last forever, but they do have fixes for that. Most people can go into fix stores and get their batteries redone or get a replacement battery. Most of the time, these issues are user error. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a prime example. I started my live stream, not this live stream, but my first live stream, and I couldn't get my audio right on the Apple event, which I got a copyright strike for. This is the second stream. Somebody hit the comments and said, with all that high-end equipment you have, you can't get it. What's the problem? And my response to everybody is that the issues are not the microphone, the issues are not the computer, the issues is not the cameras. The issue is me, is user error. I always talk about this because most of the problems that I have on my streams, or people have on their streams, or people that using computers, and people using smartphones and have issues and problems, 99% of it is user error. It ain't got nothing to do with the product itself. The computer does what you tell it to do. Let me say this, man. A computer does what you tell it to do, or you type it to do, or you program it to do. You don't turn on a computer and it just all of a sudden do shit on its own. You have to hit a button, or you have to go into the settings, you have to do something to make that computer do what you want it to do. Now, if your computer is doing shit on its own, that means you may have a virus, and that's on the Windows side too. You have issues here or there, but most people turn on the computers and it shouldn't be glitching out and all that stuff like that. And again, Windows, right? That's what I'm saying, unless it's Windows, right? And this is one of the reasons why I recommend going into the Mac system. This is one of the reasons why I got way out of the Windows ecosystem, is because of the craziness with I mean, it's a lot better now. Security is a whole lot better now. Viruses is down to a minimum on Windows PCs, especially with the new operating system. But bruh, remember with Windows 8? Now let's go back to Windows XE. Remember Windows XE? Man, oh my God, man. I mean, if you go back and look at some of the Windows operating systems, man, hackers was having a field day with people, man. And people was sending out links to emails and phishing emails and all that stuff, and people clicking on them. And the Windows Defender was not detecting it. And most people feel that, man, why would I pay $150, $200 for McAfee? right? God damn, I gotta buy expensive computer. Then I gotta go buy antiviral software. McAfee and all these other anti software to prevent people from hacking you or prevent other things. So in the Windows ecosystem, man, it was bad back then. I mean, it's a lot better now. But in the Mac Apple system, and somebody had posted a comment earlier. I don't know if it was this stream or last stream, talk about because Apple has a closed ecosystem, everything is locked down. Well, you know what? For protection, for users, lockdown ain't that bad. Like being locked down, like having your system locked down is not a bad thing, by the way. All right. I mean, if you think about this, you have a open, well, let's say open ecosystem in Windows, which Windows is better, right? Compared to Apple ecosystem. When it comes down to security, viruses, I would prefer that closed ecosystem to prevent my family from being hacked, for prevent my family for emails getting compromised, for preventing my family for having a bank accounts wiped out because you don't have a antivirus software on your Windows and you just clicking on links and pop-ups and say people click on the pop-up, you won $1 million, please click this link. And people click this link because they think they're about to win $1 million. And what do? They ask you for your data information. And a lot of people say, how do people be that stupid to put their information in you? We know that you can't win nothing. Listen, people do it. Millions of people do it. That's the whole thing. I mean, listen, think about this, right? We as tech enthusiasts, we say, how stupid could you be to click on a pop-up knowing damn well nothing is free, you're not going to win no money. We know this, right? But you see a teenager or a kid that's playing a video game that has a pop-up, a video game that has a pop-up, and all of a sudden they click on it and say, hey, you just won instant $100. Please give me your information, and I'm going to mail it to you, or I'm going to direct deposit you. And what do? They put it in. Now, we as tech enthusiasts, we know the difference between shit and sugar. But see, these people, the older generation, those people don't know, so they get hacked all the time. So yeah, this upgrade is a joke. I will agree with you. And listen, I stop even listening to this event because it's basically the same. Obviously, we know it's the same. Apple is just doing an iterative upgrade. It's really nothing, that the older iPhones can't do besides all this extra AI stuff. And one of the things that Apple is trying to force people to do is upgrade because of Apple Intelligence, because of AI. If you upgrade it because of AI, not because of the device's groundbreaking. You're upgrading because Apple won't support iPhone 14s and below, and iPhone 15s and below. Now you got to have the Pros and the Pro Max in order to have access to Apple Intelligence. But if you got 14s and stuff like that, it just not good. Not good at all. So I would tell you that this is not a upgrade for most people, especially if you're not, uh, if you don't care too much about AI, right? Listen, man, this AI stuff is. I talked about this AI stuff, by the way, man. This AI stuff is, I don't know. Um, we got the Apple A18 Pro in this device. They're about to talk about the price. Let's see what the price gonna be. All right. We looking at a price of $999 for the Pro and $1199 for the Pro Max. And guess what? The Pros come in 120 hertz. I mean, 128 gigs. 128 gigs, man. Listen, this is the same stuff that this is what Google did, right? This is what Google did. They came out with their devices at 1099, 1199, right? At 128 gigs. Now you have to get the Pro Max at 1199 if you want the 256. I'm floored at how these companies is going backwards. I am floored on how these companies going backwards. Um, I, I let me turn this. I can't do no more of that. I am floored on how these companies um going backwards. Why the 120? Why 128 gigs of storage? Where the where this coming from? Like I don't. I mean, applications are larger. The file size for video is larger. The new Apple iPhone Pro Max has 4K 120 frames per second. That is huge file sizes. And for 128 gigs, come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, I mean, I, I mean, man, this is fucking ridiculous, man. Right? Uh, it's ridiculous, right? When you're looking at, and listen, Google did the same thing with their pros at 128 gigs for $1,000. Apple is doing the same thing with 128 gigs for $1,000. Listen, man, if you go rock these devices till the wheels fall off with the huger files, the huger video files, the huger photo sizes, 128 gigs won't last you a year. Now you could use a lot of cloud services and stuff like that. But if you wanna get a device that you're gonna rock until 4 to 5 years, then 128 gigs in 2024 is a joke. And I don't understand why they're doing it. Listen, man, I I'm gonna tell you. Uh, I'm gonna tell you this phone right here. This phone right here. I got this phone for $799, no trade in. $799, no trade in. 512 gigs of storage, 8 Gen 3 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, best in class cameras, beautiful display for $799. No trade ins. No trade ins. $799. 512 gigs of storage, 16 gigs of RAM. $799. You could get 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage for $699. No trade-ins. If you had a trade-in, you could damn near get this phone for free. I I just- I don't. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel that anything over $799 got to compete with the OnePlus 12. Show me a phone without a trade-in that you could get 512 gigs of storage, you could get 16 gigs of RAM, you could get all the bells and whistles for a hair under $800 in the United States. Now, once you get outside the United States, you may have a lot of options out there. You may get to the Xiaomi's and the Vivos and stuff like that. You might get to some of those devices that will give you a lot of storage, a lot of RAM, a lot of performance, and everything for under $1,000. But when I see devices in the United States and they're coming in and they give you 128 gigs of storage, which obviously after you subtract the operating system, you only go get about what 80 gigs for the user, right? You'll get about 80, 85 gigs for the user, for over $1,000. And even when you look at the iPhone 16 Pro Max at 256 gigs at 1199, after tax, man, you look at that almost 1,300 bucks. It's fucking ridiculous, man. We are definitely going backwards. We seeing the smartphone industry going backwards. Listen to my podcast. I just dropped a podcast that this past Friday. If y'all guys didn't see my and didn't see my podcast, and didn't go to my channel and look at my podcast. I just was talking about this. Smartphone sales are tanking. Smartphone sales are tanking for the past 6 quarters, right? Almost over a year now, almost 2 years. Smartphone sales are tanking. Why smartphone sales are tanking? These companies don't get it. These companies do not get it. They don't get it. They're not seeing it. Think about this. They come out with the AirPod Pros, right? I'm sorry, the Maxes. $550. Listen, man, $550, and some people say they don't doesn't sound that great. Listen, I have professional master dynamic headphones on right now. These are professional studio quality headphones that will blow the shit out of any AirPod Max, any Pod Max, anything that Apple got to offer. And you could get these for under, $400 right now. I bought these; they was a little expensive, but I bought them years ago. But now you could get these. They got the newer versions out now. But what I'm saying is, you have professional studio headphones that you can buy at that level of price that will sound better, be better, and design better. And I do understand that if most people that's in the Apple ecosystem, they are looking forward to the new headphones and stuff like that. They used to that type of quality of stuff. But $550, man, give me a fucking break. The watch, they have the Ultra 2, right? And we're looking at $799, I believe, or $699 for the Ultra 2. So it is pretty freaking expensive for that. And most people that got the first Ultras, they loved it. But now they got the Ultra 2 watch. And I believe that the Ultra 2 watch is for the Apple folks that's looking for an upgrade coming from the Ultra 1. I believe that you already know what the price is. You already know going into the second generation, it is what it is. I think that's going to be fantastic for that. So anybody that's looking to upgrade, the question will be, what Apple device do you currently have in order to justify for this new upgrade? Now, I would say iPhone 12s maybe, if you still rocking iPhone 11s, if you still rocking iPhone 10s, I would say that this probably going to be a allowable update. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want you guys to know, that if you're going to upgrade from your iPhone 11s or your iPhone 10s to the iPhone 16s and 16 Pro Maxes, and you're going to rock them till the wheels fall off, unfortunately, make sure you get the storage options that you need. If you're going to rock these devices for another 4 to 5 years, then make sure you get the and listen, it's going to be a big pill to swallow in the beginning, because I would not recommend 128 gigs if you go rock it for 4 years. I wouldn't recommend, if you go 256, you might can survive off of 256. The 512 and the 1 terabyte gonna be pretty freaking expensive, but I would say at least get 256. And so if you're coming from an iPhone, listen, to me, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is one of my favorite phones. I wouldn't upgrade. This me. I would rock my iPhone 13 Pro Max for another year, just to get a little more satisfaction out the device. If you're rocking the iPhone 15, probably not. Come on now, let's be real. If you're rocking the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you're not even looking at an iPhone 16. You may be looking at an iPhone 18 Pro Max down the line, 18, 19 Pro Max or something like that. But not going from a 15 to a 16, not even going from a 14 to a 16. I would say not even going from a 13 to a 16. I would say 12 and below. That's just my opinion. Shout out to T. I see you in the building. What's up? T say, hey, that's true, but they don't work in the ecosystem. Sure, you can get better quality, but a lot of Apple folks care about don't not a lot of Apple folks care about quality. If you have to think about their market and listen, that's what I was saying. Like, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, it just that, and I talked about this, and I will continue to talk about this, right? If if you are in the Apple ecosystem, and listen, I am in the Apple ecosystem, and I talked about this. I have everything in my studio is pretty much Apple, right? I have iPads. I use Mac Studios. I use Mac Minis. I use Apple. I use an iPad for a teleprompter. I use listen. Everything in my studios is because if I want to get work done, I am completely in the Apple ecosystem for work. Like work is Apple ecosystem. Me for a smartphone, I got iPhones. I like Android phones of choice. That's just me, right? So even though I'm in the Apple ecosystem, my choice of phones are always going to be Android. Now, I do have to start carrying an iPhone when I'm out filming. I'm using Blackmagic cameras. There's no fucking apps on Android phones to control my Blackmagic cameras. So guess what? I got to use my iPhone. I'm a one man band. So since I'm a one man band, I have to have a device to connect to my Blackmagic camera so I can film outside. When I'm filming out and about, when I'm filming, I got to use my iPhone, because no Android apps work with my Blackmagic cameras. So for me, I have to use an iPhone for that. Unfortunate, and I tried to find an Android phone for Blackmagic camera. You don't. It's none. So I would tell you that I have to when I'm out filming. I got to keep. Listen, I got to keep an iPhone with me. I got it in the freaking case. I got to keep iPhones with me when I'm out in the field because when I'm out in the field, only Apple product works with my Blackmagic camera, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, and that's it is what it is. All right, so we recap a little bit. I am the iPhone. I have the 15 Pro Max, and I'm not upgrading. Shout out to J Harv. I see you. Hold on. Go back. I don't run out of space on 256 for sure. Kadizu. Facts easy. 13 Pro Max isn't going anywhere. Listen, I know that a lot of companies like Google was taking iPhone 13 Pro Maxes for huge trade-ins. I decided not to do it, right? I do understand that they have huge trade-ins for iPhones to get the pixels. The- to me, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is probably Apple's best phone. The battery life is great. The performance is great. The cameras are phenomenal. The build quality is the same shit that you've seen for the last 10 years. So the build quality is the same. So for me, the 13 Pro Max, if you got a 13 Pro Max, I don't even think I wouldn't even recommend. And listen, here's the thing. Here's where I differ from a lot of content creators. And I want y'all guys to understand something here, right? If you got the money and the means, go grab it. Like it don't take me to tell you guys that the iPhone 16 Pro Max is a huge upgrade. You better go get pre-orders and all that bullshit. I don't do that here. I don't do that here. On here, when I always talk about this, right? If you got the money and the means and you're a tech enthusiast and you want the shit, go buy the shit. It don't take me to tell anybody not to buy it because it is what it is. I look out for people that say, listen, I'm on the fence. I'm on the I'm talking to the people that's on the fence. The people that, I want a new phone. My old phone is acting up a little bit, and I think it's time for an upgrade. And here's what I always tell people. Listen, when somebody tell me their phone acting up, and I go back to the user error that I talked about earlier, when people ask me or tell me that they have a phone issue, that their phones are acting up, I always ask them these series of questions. When the last time you rebooted the phone, right? Second question is, When the last time you factory reset that device? And both of those questions, 99% of most people tell me they haven't rebooted the phone in about a year. The second question, most people would tell me that they haven't factory resetted the device since they bought it. So sometimes you run into issues when you do maybe upgrade or something with your operating system and it got messed up or something. You know, I always tell people, turn the phone off, turn it on. Let's see if you get better performance, right? Factory reset it. Because if the phone was fast before, it'd be fast now. And I always talk about this. I talk about this a lot, man. I am not the person that you want to ask, should you upgrade? I am not that person because I'm going to tell you don't upgrade. I'm going to show you why you shouldn't upgrade. I'm going to explain to you why you shouldn't upgrade, right? I always talk about why you shouldn't upgrade. I talk about this a lot. I always been telling you guys this type of stuff all the time about rocking devices till the wheels fall off. Listen, man, when I say rock devices till the wheels fall off, what the fuck I'm talking about? Rocking the devices till the wheels fall off, baby. Listen, man, when I talk about rocking devices till the wheels fall off, baby, this is rocking devices till the wheels fall off. Man, listen, look how fucking clean this phone is. Man, come on, man. Listen, when I say rock devices till the wheels fall off, that's what I'm talking about. I always will recommend people to save their money and to hold on to their cash, people that's on the fence. Now, people that's ready to rock and roll for a new phone, we give them the best options. If you got to trade in, trade in. If not, then rock the devices. Listen, I am not the YouTuber to come to for validation. I made it. Listen, watch. I talk about this a lot in my podcast. I talk about tech validation. I talked about upgrades. I talk about coming to YouTubers for the help you with to influence you to upgrade. You never, and I stopped this. Listen, I haven't been peaches and cream when it comes down to the way I am today. I've learned a lot, over the years, right? I've said it years and years ago. Oh, yes, if you got such and such a device, it's time to upgrade. But times have changed and I've changed. And I say people this all the time, that rock your devices till the wheels fall off. Listen, I say this and I will continue to say this. If your current phone cameras is not giving you what you want, the newer phone cameras ain't gonna give you what you want either. If you upgrading because of the cameras, you making a huge mistake. Right? Oh, D-Lee, hey, what's up, cousin in the building? Man, my cousin always come through, man. Facts. As the only Android user in my house, I thought of transitioning to this iPhone, but nah, I passed. I'm looking at the Pixel now. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, a lot of people do their research. A lot of people think about things here and there. And tech enthusiasts, listen, man, tech enthusiasts, it is what it is, right? Most tech enthusiasts are grabbing an iPhone, right? They'll grab an iPhone here and there. But some tech enthusiasts, they're always in the Android ecosystem, and it is what it is, right? And going from there. Listen, I talked about this on my last podcast. And what did I say in my last podcast? These companies don't understand. My last podcast, I talked about how the smartphone industry is having a huge decline in sales, right? And a lot of people say, well, the reason why they're having a huge decline in sales is because they're not innovating. I look at it two ways. Innovation, yes. Second reason is because of price. Everything, listen, I say this, and I know a lot of people hit me up, easy, man, I can upgrade, listen, you can lie to me, but you can't lie to your bank account. And I always say, listen, keep it real no matter what, right? And I say this all the time. If you got the money and the means to get it, get it. But these companies don't understand what the user want, right? These companies don't understand what the user wants. Tech enthusiast is a totally different animal. It's a fundamental difference between a tech enthusiast and a regular degular, right? Tech enthusiasts claim that they got all the money in the world and they upgrade every fucking time, right? That's tech enthusiasts. They go trade in, they go get the new phones. They got the money, they got the means. They tech enthusiasts. They love tech. Listen, that's all good. I ain't tripping. I love tech too. Regular degulars, go talk to normal folk out there. Show them your phone. Show them your iPhone 15 Pro Max. Show them your Galaxy S24 Ultras. Go show them that. And like, hey, listen, I noticed you got an old device. You look at this beautiful phone. You know what the question they go ask you? How much do that thing cost? I listen. I hear this all the time from friends and family. They ask me how much does it cost, and when you tell them, this foldable phone go, after tax, you might drop about $2,000 on it. Man, let me tell you something. They'll tell you I'll drop 200 on it. They ain't dropping 2,000 on nothing. A lot of people say, well, usually people go to their carriers. That's true. But even with that, who's spending an extra $75 on their bills right now? You get a fold. Listen, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 will raise your bill $75+. In this economy where groceries are high, everything expensive, homeowners insurance then went up. I just bought 4 new tires on my truck, and I mean, I was fucking floored when I pulled out my credit card. I'm like, God damn. Utilities are high, renters insurance that went up. You go to the grocery store. I go down there to the Wiley World and spent $100, and I got about 6 items in my hand. When you talk about all that, who the fuck's buying a phone that have a phone that's already working? And that's the whole thing. It's one of those things that I do understand that a lot of people get excited and ready to move the needle, push the needle, go and get this phone, stuff like that. But when they start looking at the cost, average consumers, the regular degulars, they ask you the same question: how much does it cost? Then they make a decision. Listen, I remember I get emails from people, and I'm gonna tell you all this story. I get, every now and then I get people email me, and I always talk about I got over 200 phones and all that stuff like that. He emailed me a DM. Easy, you got a phone to sell? Of course I got phones to sell. The fuck you mean? I got 200 of them sitting over here, right? Okay, let's wheel and deal. You got 2 phones that most people always want. I'm in the United States, right? I got 200 some phones. I can sell you a lot of phones, but I already know when people DMing me, it's 2 phones that they want: Galaxy, iPhone. Okay, cool. All right. You got a Galaxy? Of course. Which one you want? S22, S23. Yeah, with the S23, of course they go with the latest. I don't have the S24s. I got S23 Ultra, 512 gigs of storage. Oh, bro, how much? I do about 750, 800. What? Man, that's too fucking high. I'm like, how much you thought it was going to be? Oh, man, I thought 150, 200. And I get that. Well, what about iPhone? Yeah, I got an iPhone 15 Pro Max, 512 gig. Well, how much? About 1,100. Man, that's high as hell. I'm thinking 250. See, that's the thing, man. When you start throwing money out there, cost out there, how much these devices actually cost, a lot of people, they have no fucking idea of how these things cost, because they so financing it for 2.5, 3 years, paying 30, 40, 50 bucks a month on their bill when they don't understand the cost of the device. And listen, it's crazy. They get the contracts in their hand and they see how much the device costs, right? And you think about that, like, man. This thing costs a lot of money. These phones, $1,000, $2,000 phones, and so people always ask the question of price. And listen, remember a long time ago, right? When the carriers tried to take away contracts. Remember that? Remember they tried to take away contracts and they say you have to pay for the devices up front, right? They remember Long time ago, when they took away the contracts and you had to pay for a phone up front, what happened? Nobody was buying phones, right? So what did the carriers do? They came back with device payment plans. Remember, they come back with device payment plans, and they say, okay, device payment plan, the same thing as a fuck contract, right? Remember, device payment plan, and what they did was they had a device payment plan. You just paid 40, 50, $60 a month, and you can have the phone paid off in 2.5, 3 years, right? Because they had to come back with it. Nobody wouldn't buy the phones. Nobody would buy the phones, right? Man, think about this. You want to get the new iPhone and you have to pay up front for it. Man, who has $1,100 in the just to pay for a phone up front right now? Obviously, the big ballers do, right? But I'm talking about the regular deglers. I'm talking about regular degler folks, right? They ain't gonna spend no fucking all this money on these phones, stuff like that, right? So it is what it is. Um, Let me see here. You are bang on. I work for a network in the UK. Many people are more money conscious than ever. I'm telling you, people, it's about money. Man, listen, man, you really think that somebody go walk into a carrier, you really think that people, the regular degulars go in there and say, I want the iPhone 16 Pro Max because I want fucking Apple Intelligence. I want AI. You really think, and this is where the company's failing at, right? You really think that the regular degular is going to buy a Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max because of AI for 11.99. This is where Apple and them need to get out their cubicles and go talk to regular folks. Listen, tech enthusiasts is a small percentage of the buying population when it comes down to smartphones. Your regular degulars has a large percentage of the pie. You have to listen, man. Apple and them have to reach the regular degulars, and the regular degulars are not spending that kind of money on a smartphone. Not right now. Maybe 2 years from now. This is why you have a decline in sales from smartphone manufacturers in the United States. Now we're hearing that Honor is killing it overseas. We're hearing Huawei and all these other companies, international devices, is killing it overseas, right? In the United States, where I live at, we're hearing a big decline. And this is one of the reasons why, right? It's because of that. But listen, people going to your Samsung A devices. They're not buying the S24s and the S23 Ultras and stuff like that. They're buying the A devices, right? Those are more comparable. Listen, they get the job done. A lot of people don't understand that camera system is all on the user. Most phones is fast. If a phone costs $200 and I could go on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and watch movies, that's all the people go spend. That's all the people go there. iPhones look good, look shiny, pretty. But at the end of the day, are they dropping $1,100, over $1,000 for it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. I suspect most iPhone users have never tried things. Look, I'm gonna tell you. I have iPhone users in my home, right? I tried to convert my wife into the Android ecosystem. I try to convert my daughter into the into the Android ecosystem. I bought them. I got a video about this on my YouTube channel. When the Galaxy Note 7 came out, right? And this before it got recalled, before all the issues with it. When the Galaxy Note 7 came out, I bought 3 of them. I bought one for me, one for the Oracle, one for my daughter. And it took them less than 24 hours when they gave up their iPhones to tell me how terrible the Android experience was. And I remember returning those 2 phones, and I kept mine. I kept mines, but they had a terrible experience. And I felt that the Galaxy Note 7 was fucking great. I love the Galaxy Note 7. It was hot now. It's a hot box. But I love the Galaxy Note 7. And I try to convert my people into going into the Android ecosystem. something about the Apple ecosystem that, and I do understand now. I do understand now that the Apple ecosystem works, right? You have other people with iPhones. You have other people that love the Apple ecosystem, and it works great across the board with AirPods, with the phone. You have applications that's not on Android. You have all kinds of things that Apple lock up into their ecosystem that's not available on Android. I gave you an example about my Black Magic cameras. It's not available on Android. And so some of these things, some of these applications, some of these features that lock up people, iMessage and video calls and stuff like that. These features that lock people on the Apple ecosystem. And in the Android ecosystem, you say, well, okay, for video calls, you can download apps. Well, in the Apple ecosystem, you don't have to download apps. Like those type of things, like those simple things that if you're going from iPhone to iPhone, you click one button, you get somebody's face. Apple to Android is a little different. You got to use third-party apps. But what I'm saying is like Apple has a ecosystem that has people locked. And I believe that most people will probably upgrade to the, iPhone 16s and stuff like that just because they love Apple. Not because they're getting anything special, not because they're getting anything groundbreaking. It's because these Apple folks is love to have the latest. Listen, it's a fashion thing to some people, right? Upgrading and having this is a fashion thing to some people. Better I buy a Tank 3S and have a projector included. Well, I got one sitting right here. Obviously, I got a lot of phones, but I got, and oh, by the way, we got a hurricane hitting our way. So I'm fully charging all my tank devices. So when the power go out, I'm gonna have full service. So I'm waiting on that. Let's see. I gotta get out of here. It's after 2 o'clock. S23 Ultra 512 gigs is like $850 on Amazon Renew, and that's what I'm saying. Like when somebody asks you for S23 Ultra and you tell them 800, 700, $800, they lose their fucking mind. Like they think they could pay $200 for it, and that is not the case. Let's see. I'll be impressed once they release a rumored foldable phone. And so here's the thing about Apple. And listen, man, be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Listen, Apple sold the Vision Pro for $4,000. When Apple come out with a foldable phone, it's going to be super fucking expensive. You're looking at $2,500 to $3,000 for this thing, man. And what's going to happen, and I've been talking about this, Apple's going to screw the market. Because if Apple can sell a $2,500 to a $3,000 foldable phone, Samsung gonna do it. We know that Samsung is following the same nutsack as Apple. So that means that whatever Apple does, Samsung will follow the leader. So be careful what you ask for. I am not rushing Apple to drop a foldable phone. I know what it's going to do to the market. They can take as long as they want to drop a foldable phone. I know what Apple's going to do to the market when they drop a foldable phone. Because if you look at Vision Pro, it's going to be absolutely nuts when and we hear a rumor that Samsung is going to come out with their version of Vision Pro or whatever. But when Apple drop a foldable phone, they're going to drive the market to something that I'm not waiting for. Yes, I am. I tell anybody, be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for because Apple will drive the market up. You know, yeah, man. Listen, I agree. Apple won't change nothing. Yeah. I agree with you on that one. I love the quality of the iPhones and the smoothness of the OS, but I love freedom Android give us. Listen, I agree with you. This is one of the reasons why the Pixels has been an upcoming type of device that I would highly recommend. The biggest problem with Google is they made the fatal freaking mistake by high pricing the Pixels. If Google would have if Google would kept at the 799, 899, 799, 899, damn it, they would be up there. But going into the $1,000, the 1099 price point for 128, that's tough, man. That's a tough pill to swallow, and I think Google made a huge mistake by doing that. I'm gonna buy it. It's a Tank 13, uh, so I can get my yes. If you want updates, if you could get updates, absolutely. I'm the same way. When the power go out, I use hotspots and with my AR glasses and stuff like that. Yeah. Hey, Kia, what's going on? Kia in the building. What's up, peeps? What's happening with you? Yeah, Apple 4 is going to be at least 2,500. Man, telling you. Samsung already does it with the Z Fold 6 1 TB, and it retails close to 2,300. So I'm telling you, it is. I would not. Hey, what's up with you? I said, my man in the building. What's happening? Yeah, you're right. Appreciate you coming through. But I would tell you that for real, I would not rush Apple to drop a foldable, right? Um, hold on, let me see. Off topic. How many weeks before the inks will be placed in it last place? Wait. We not last place in the NFC. We won. Tampa Bay won, and we won. Didn't the Falcons lose? And then we beat Carolina. So Carolina is 0-1, and Falcons is 0-1, right? Didn't the Falcons lose yesterday? So Tampa Bay is 1-0, and we 1-0. So yeah, we ain't last. Now we got to go to Dallas. Dallas fucking beat the Browns 30 points yesterday, and I mean, but we won 47. I mean, listen, Carolina only won one game last year, so you got to kind of count that out a little bit. Let's see what they do against going out there in Jerry Jones land, and next week and the week after we get ready for Patrick Mahomes and the Eagles. That's going to be your true testament. Can we get 47 points against Patrick Mahomes? Because we go need it. Because Patrick Mahomes go put 47 on us. So that means we got to do 50 points. So let's see, man. I don't know. I agree. The Pixel 9 price is dumb. Yeah, I think they did. I'm seriously in need of a new phone. I'm looking at the new Fold by Samsung or Pixel. Now here's the thing. It all depends, right? The Galaxy Fold, if you are a Samsung user, I will go Galaxy Fold. If you like a clean bill of Android, I will go Pixel. Here's the problem. Both of them is high as fuck. So I would tell you that choose wisely. Make sure you have some kind of trade in. Save your coins until you got your money ready. I don't know about financing. That's all on you. But whatever device you buy, make sure you got your coins ready because both, I mean, you talk about $17.99 for both. Right? It's $2,000, right? So it's $2,000, man. You just think about $2,000. All right, $2,000. That's it. After you add all the bells and whistles, after you add all this and all that, that's $2,000, man. Because people say, well, it's 17. Listen, man, I live in the United States. I don't know where the fuck y'all live at not paying taxes. But when I see $17.99, My mind say $2,000 because I gotta buy a case for the son bitch. I gotta buy protectors. I gotta buy all kind. That's $2,000. I budget $2,000 when I buy a foldable, man, because you ain't buying no foldable. I would like for you to walk into a store and buy a foldable device that says $17.99 on the sticker and give that cashier $1,799 to walk out that bitch. And I promise you, the cashier gonna look at you like you dumb. You got to pay some form of tax. Now they do have a state here or there that has no tax. I don't know what state they have no taxes, but I'm down south, man. I'll shit 10%, 10%, 10%, 17.99. Add 10% to that, so that's $1,800 times 10%. To me, that's $2,000. 10%. It's high as fuck, man. Shh. Right now I have a Note 8, Moto G Power 2021. I just sold my Surface Duo a month ago. I need to spoil myself, but I don't know which one to buy. I would say, listen, if you watch my YouTube channel, if you're a member of my YouTube channel, you'll probably be laughing because you say the Note 8, but you don't know what to buy. I tell you, if you like the Samsung ecosystem, I want to go Fold. If you like the Pixel ecosystem, I would go Pixel. That's in the If you're in the United States, that's your two options. But I mean, yes, so Knizzle putting people could say that you could go to GearStop, go on Amazon and stuff like that to get a a foldable. Big House, he talking about a foldable. Big House, he talking about a foldable. Look, any slab phone, I would tell you, any slab phone, I would say OnePlus 12. Mixed fold is $12.99 on GearStop. I'm getting the Pixel 16 Pro Max. Not sure the color. Say buy OnePlus 12, OnePlus 12R. Save a lot of money. Hey, easy. I'm going to sell my V60. The phone is way too big for me. I understand. If you're selling your V60, you're looking at maybe a Pixel A device, or maybe going to a Galaxy, smaller Galaxy, because you're not getting a OnePlus 12. It's big. Or if you're going into the Apple ecosystem, you're looking at maybe the iPhone 16 Pro, or maybe the iPhone 16 degular. That's gonna give you a smaller phone. Yeah, I'm in the U.S. You know what that means, right? You get taxed. I like the all-in-one devices. Samsung seems to fit that category, but I like how Google promised 7 years of updates. So here's the thing: tech enthusiasts, they talk about 7 years of updates, but are you really gonna use the phone for 7 years? Samsung will give you 7 years if you get the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Google will give you 7 years if you get their device. Don't listen. I say this, man. You really can hold on to a phone till the wheels fall off. Don't get caught up on the hype of OS updates. As long as your apps are updated, as long as you ain't downloading unauthorized APKs and rooting and booting your devices, you'll be fine. Your main concern should be security patches, not OS updates. I just think 7 years OS updates, I just think that for me, I would say keep your apps updated and go for security patches. Don't worry about the 7 years updates, because you usually either you go replace the battery in it, but the phone ain't gonna last as far as battery life 7 years. You probably have to do a battery replacement if it's gonna be your main device. If it's gonna be your daily driver, you gotta look at the battery replacements on it. Now, a foldable 7 years, I don't know. I remember my Z Fold 3s and Z Fold 4s, the fucking screen protectors already, I had to pull them off. They ain't last 6 months. Screen protectors on the Z Folds don't last nothing but 6 months. How they gonna last for 7 years? So that's the thing you gotta think about on the foldables, right? I'm getting an iPhone 16 Pro Max, 1 TB, brown titanium. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. That Z Fold 6 is not going to survive 7 years. It's not. I just feel it's not. So don't look at 7 years. Not on the foldable. 4 years tops. If you go use it as your daily driver, 4 years. I wouldn't worry about seven. And try your best not to break it and scratch it because you could probably use it as a trade in. But use it till the wheels fall off, man. 48 megapixel raw photo, 120 hertz 4K video, Apple ProRes. You're gonna need the storage. And this is the problem that 120 hertz brings to the table. Apple really going to force people to spend a shit ton of money to get this iPhone. You're not buying the 999 iPhone with the 48 megapixel raw, the 120 frames per second 4K video, Apple ProRes. Man, you go eat through. Listen, Apple ProRes alone go eat through 100 gigs of your storage, man. Do you think about it? You shoot 5-10 minutes of Apple ProRes, you already gigs and gigs and gigs of storage. So I mean, what you go upload that to the cloud and shit, you have to pay Apple for more cloud storage. So what you go get? What 5 terabytes of storage for the cloud to upload ProRes videos? That's the problem people running into, man. Like you could offload your videos to your computer, which if you have multiple terabytes of SSDs and storage, you can offload your footage to that. But as far as the phone, you're not keeping that on your phone. Like you gonna be, and this is the sad part about having a 120 hertz, 120 gig device. You'll be at a event like a wedding, and you want to get multiple videos, multiple photos. You want to go all in on high quality because you want to salvage the moment. And you got 128 gigs, probably less than that because you're only gonna get about 85 gigs to boot. But you got apps and other things that you have on your phone, so you down to maybe about 60 gigs, 50 gigs, and you trying to do, a couple of hours of trying to get footage here, footage there. You're gonna run into storage problems. You're gonna run into storage problems. You're gonna have, those special events. You're gonna just take a lot of photos, a lot of video. You're gonna run into storage problems. And you be like, damn, man, I mean, this fucked up, man. I mean, now I got to delete shit just to record. Yeah. Probably picking up iPad mini, though. I don't think the folds are as reliable. I agree. iPad mini is great. Listen, I was looking at the iPad mini, right? But I'm trying to downside my teleprompter because I'm using iPad Pros for my teleprompter. So I might go with the Elgato. So I'm looking at the Elgato for my teleprompter. But I really, really do want a iPad Mini. All right, so I might just grab me one, not a little cheapy, man. I don't want nothing, I'm not gonna do nothing to it. I might just use it for, typing up some scripts and stuff like that. I don't need an iPad Mini with a whole shit ton of storage. So I'm not gonna get no 64 gigs of storage. I may get a 256 or something like that, but I don't need nothing 512 or 1 terabyte in a day. But I am looking into maybe picking up one real quick. But peoples, man, welcome to the after party. The game is over. For the folks that just joining us, this is my second live stream. My first live stream, I got copyrighted by Apple. Now, what I was doing in the first live stream, when the keynote address was on, I was telling people that I really can't show the Apple event, but I can show y'all guys bits and pieces of the Apple event and give you commentary on it. And by me showing bits and pieces of the Apple event, they hit me with a copyright strike and took my stream down. So this is what happened. Listen, I haven't had a copyright strike in a couple of years, so this copyright strike hit me, with a copyright strike. So, you know, I would say this by us doing these streams and stuff. It hurts, man, because you want to give commentary and talk about the new latest and greatest tech, but Apple and Samsung doesn't like YouTube content creators to live stream their events. So I got hit with a copyright and a pull down. So I got hit with a copyright strike and a pull down of the Apple video that I was live streaming. I was doing, and I was just showing bits and pieces. I wasn't showing like the event. I was just showing bits and pieces. That was it. And I was saying in the live stream, if you guys wanted to watch the live stream, go to the apple.com and watch the stream. And I was showing bits and pieces to give it commentary. And Apple hit me with a copyright strike, and they pulled the live stream down. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of YouTube content creators don't do this stuff. Because the YouTube and these big companies, they don't play fair with us content creators. And that's unfortunate, right? They don't play fair with us content creators. So I this is my first strike. So all my other strikes got cleared. So I've got hit with copyright strikes before, right? But over time, the copyright strikes will, like maybe 6 months, a year. The copyright strikes a fall. Like but if you get 3 copyright strikes, you lose your YouTube channel. And a lot of content creators don't want to lose their YouTube channel. So I got hit with a copyright strike, and I got pulled down for that. Unfortunately, this is why I started the second live stream. It's because of that. Yeah. So, and I do understand a lot of people. Well, why are you not showing the event? I mean, what? It's because we'll literally lose our YouTube channels if we did that. If I were to show you the event, not only did I would have got hit bad, right, but I probably would have gotten hit with a hard strike that close to losing my YouTube channel. And I don't want to lose my YouTube channel because of Apple. Now, I remember years ago, I was doing commentary on the WWF event. And not only did WWE copyright strike my channel, but they gave me a live stream restriction that I couldn't live stream for 90 days. So I got hit with it. And listen, y'all guys know I do live streams every week. I can't afford to get hit with copyright strikes, to get penalized for 90 and 120 days. I'm not live streaming. But WWE hit me for a hard copyright strike, and I got banned from live streaming for 90 days. Just doing commentary on a WWE event. And that actually made me start a new channel because I wanted to live stream. And so I started a new channel because of that. And so a lot of people don't understand, and this is one of the reasons why we talk about this. We try to get people to understand why we do what we do and why it's the do's and don'ts of YouTube. YouTube doesn't play fair when the content creators try to do commentary and try to do reactions and stuff like that based off of events and stuff like that, Because listen, it would be nice to show you the event and give you commentary as I'm showing the event. But we can't. Now, they have people like CNET and all that. They can show the event and don't get hit with copyright strikes because they got permission from Apple. Apple would never give us permission. Apple, we not big. Apple don't give us, they don't care about us content creators like that to give us permission to live stream the events. And that's messed up. It's $1 trillion company. You would think that they will like Samsung too. You would think that they don't give a crap and wouldn't mind that everybody live stream the event so they could get more people to be bought into their product and bought into the narrative. Even with negative commentary, listen, negative or positive commentary, that's still marketing. Marketing is both. It doesn't matter if it's negative commentary or positive commentary. It's still marketing for the company. So, I mean, it is what it is, yeah. But I'm going to get out of here. This last comment here, I'm going to get on out of here. I got a Motorola Stylus 5G. Congratulations to you. $250. I got 120 hertz refresh rate, 5,000 milliamp battery, 8 gigs of RAM, wireless charging, 35 wireless watts of turbo charging, Dolby speakers, 6.5. And guess what? You got the golden ticket, sir. This is what I'm talking about right there. You see this right here? This comment right here says it all. You got a device that you done paid $250 for. And not only do you got a great device, but you got the specs to back it up. And that device is why we talk about this so much. People, let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you, if you took away, I'm gonna play this game, right? I'm gonna play this game. Take away the name Motorola, take away the name Motorola G Stylus 5G, and just put I got a smartphone, right? Take away the $250. I got a smartphone with 120 hertz display, 5,000 milliamp battery, 8 gigs of RAM, wireless charging, and all this stuff. If you put that in, and you ask the people in the comments, how much do you think I paid for that? Most of it would tell you $799, $899, $1,000, $1,500 or something like that. But as soon as you say Motorola, for some strange fucking reason, tech enthusiasts, oh my God, that phone is trash. Just because of the name. Just because of the name. It ain't got nothing to do with the features and functionality of it. It ain't got nothing to do that you're getting more for what you paid for. It ain't got nothing to do with that. People look at two things. Tech enthusiasts look at two things. If it's expensive, they believe it's good. If it ain't Apple or Samsung, they believe everything else is trash. So here's the biggest problem with a lot of tech enthusiasts, right? Is that when they hear stuff like Motorola, when they hear stuff like Google, when they hear stuff like other name brands, they immediately think it's trash. If they hear something of a nature of a $250 price, they believe that it's trash. It is mind-blowing to me that people associate quality with price. People associate quality with Apple. People associate quality with Samsung. And how many times have Samsung fucked up? How many times have Apple that fucked up? Let's go back. Galaxy Note 7. Galaxy Note 5. The Galaxy S8 Plus. Right? The fucking Samsung A devices. Some of them. Right? I mean, the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Where did Samsung fucked up? Those devices, right? Galaxy S21 Ultra, the fucking Note 5, the Note 7, listen, I could go on and on, but people associate the price with quality. And that is why people is brainwashed, because everything else is trash. You know, I could talk all day. I'm hungry. I'm get out of here. I really appreciate all y'all guys coming through. Don't forget about Kimmy's stream tomorrow night. And I might do an after dark stream tonight. So stay tuned for that. And listen, I really appreciate everybody coming through. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you're not subscribed, just make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out, and go from there. We're going to see y'all guys next time. Same bat place, same bat time, baby. We out.